Sabo, Sabo, Sabo. After the recent events of Sabo narrating the Reverie arc, let's be honest here, before Wano we were riveted by the Reverie arc, and now Sabo is of course narrating this arc. He's giving me main character vibes, and I love how Monkey D. Dragon complimented Sabo and the way he is so unbreakable, pretty much saying that King Cobra dying was a W for him. So I thought today we actually dissect Sabo as a character, because he's a fairly new character. Let's be honest here, he was introduced during the post-Marine Ford, and then of course he got brought back during Dressrosa. So I feel like Sabo is one of those characters that really hasn't been, like, he's crazy because he has a whole flashback and he is now back in the current story and he's getting a lot of spotlight, but I still feel there's more to the character that needs to be dissected. His story is not finished. It kind of reminds me of Blackleg Sanji, and how, remember when Sanji of course had like the theories of him being a prince, his father being a Gorosei member and whatnot, and then of course Hokage Island we got the true flashback of Germa. I feel like Sabo of course needs the same treatment, where we need even more spotlight on Sabo because of how close he is to Luffy and Ace. The Ace was pretty much one of the main characters of pre-time skip, and then Luffy is the main character. Sabo is so huge. So today you guys see the title, we're going after Laughtale, we're going to Sabo's new journey, we're going to Sabo's true goal. Stick to the end of the video to see exactly what I'm talking about, because people don't even understand. Sabo actually has a true goal. And guys, I see a lot of you guys are actually fans of the channel, but you guys are not clicking subscribe. So easy to do, guys. It's free, it doesn't cost a thing. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel. It helps me so much, of course, and like the video. If you guys are enjoying the video, like the video. There's thousands of you guys watching the videos and not liking it, so just like the video, and it helps the channel, and I can bring out the best content, because I'm really trying to go crazy, especially with Gear 5th anime episode coming out. You guys might see a live reaction. You guys, come on, support the channel, you might see a live reaction. Now during the ASL flashback, we saw Sabo as a kid really wanted to see the world in its full glory, and he talks about it when of course revealing his true dream, which we do not know what Luffy's true dream was, but we only got Ace and Sabo. But Sabo talks about how he wants to see the entire world, and definitely reminded me of, how do I say this, reminded me of Nami in a sense, because everyone knows Nami wants to draw a map of the entire world, so that in a sense is seeing the entire world if you think about it. And then of course Ace pretty much says, I thought you were going to be my navigator, because Sabo still wants to be the leader. He doesn't want to just be a navigator for another crew, he wants to be the captain of his own ship. He just wants to sail the seas. And if you think about it, Sabo didn't really, he wants to be a pirate, but he didn't really have the main focus of being a pirate. He just wants to sail the seas and see the entire world. And honestly, that's why Sabo is such a unique character, because he doesn't fit in the mold of Marine, he doesn't fit in the mold of pirate, he doesn't fit in the mold of revolutionary. It looks like Sabo just wants to do his own thing, vibe out, and just go crazy. I remember the moment when Ace passed away, and I was just thinking, who's gonna get the get back? Let's be honest here, Akainu killed Ace, and I'm just thinking, who's gonna defeat Akainu? The simple answer is so easy right in front of our face, but honestly, I don't think Oda is a simple man. This way he made the story One Piece, there's so much different complications and complex things to the story that honestly, I'm thinking, who's gonna get the get back? And I feel like there's so many candidates for the get back of Akainu, the man who uses magma. Of course, right away we saw Jinbei block Akainu's fist that he wanted to kill Luffy with, and Akainu said to Jinbei, you know how strong I am, Jinbei. And of course Jinbei, let's be honest here, this is the man who of course destroyed Who's Who during the Wano arc, during the raid of Onigashima. He's also the man of course that was blocking an attack with Big Mom using his haki, and of course his new bounty is worth over 1 billion berry bounties. He's the third highest bounty in the Straw Hat Pirates, just below Luffy and Zoro. Guys, Jinbei is no joke, and he's proven that pre and post time skip. He fought Ace for 5 days, and honestly his relationship with Ace, the fact that he got locked up because he didn't want to fight the Whitebeard pirates, you would think Jinbei was one of those main candidates for getting the get back, but of course Oda did not choose him. But Jinbei definitely was clutch. He was an MVP during Marine Ford. Then of course we saw Marco and Vista. Marco and Vista jumped right out of nowhere. Of course Marco and Vista were using haki, and Marco of course also blocked he also blocked Akainu in that moment too, to let of course help out Jinbei, Luffy, and Ace. Honestly, the Whitebeard pirates of Marco and Vista, you probably think, where's Jozu? Jozu would have been there too, but Jozu got packed up by Aokiji during Marine Ford. And these are some top Whitebeard pirates since the days of Roger. Think about it, yo. Marco was fighting Kizaru, he was fighting Aokiji, he was fought Blackbeard during the time skip, and fought Big Mom right before the Onigashima raid, and then of course fought King and Queen during the raid to help out Zoro and Sanji, and then of course let the stars take the stage. And then we got Vista, who got the respect of going out with Mihawk, and Mihawk knew his name. Honestly, definitely want to say there is big things for Vista and Marco when it comes to that moment of taking on Akainu, but Akainu just laughed at them. Of course, Akainu was just laughing like, oh, hockey wasn't a big deal. So honestly, they weren't the ones to get the get back for Ace. But by far, during the Marineford War, the biggest hope for getting the get back for Ace was Whitebeard, guys. I know Whitebeard was sick, I know he was old, but he was still a Yonko. He was still the world's strongest man, just not in his prime. And Whitebeard destroyed Akainu in rage, and honestly, he was a menace, yo. But I gotta say this, Akainu was even big of a menace too, because Akainu got back up and took on the rest of the Whitebeard pirates and almost killed Kobe. Shout out to Shanks for stopping that madness, because this guy was going crazy. Even after Marineford, he went after Blackbeard and chased after Blackbeard. So Akainu is no joke. So I talked about the easy answer, and let's be honest here, the easy thing to say is Luffy got scarred by him, Luffy got permanently scarred by Akainu, and of course it's destiny that he fights Akainu. Now honestly, the revenge, Luffy's brother died in front of him because of Akainu. Luffy was supposed to be the one who got killed because of Akainu. And of course, then I think about Jinbei's speech to Luffy. Don't think about what you lost, think about what you still have when it comes to Straw Hat Pirates. And now he got even gained a new brother in Sabo, who he thought Sabo was dead, and he came back for life. So honestly, Luffy's revenge path is looking less and less plausible in my personal opinion. I know it sounds crazy, but as Akainu and Blackbeard look like the final villains when it comes to the Marines and the pirate, but honestly, I genuinely think that Luffy is gonna go against Blackbeard, and Akainu is not going to be Luffy's target. I just don't think that Oda's going to do that. Remember Dressrosa when Doflamingo had Ace's Mare no Mi in the Coliseum, and Luffy wanted Ace's fruit, but then he trusted it to Sabo to eat the Mare no Mi, and Sabo of course said to Burgess, my beef isn't with you guys, the Blackbeard pirates, it's actually with someone else. Then if his beef is not with Blackbeard, we know who his beef is with. It has to be the man who actually did kill Akainu. I mean, not Akainu, the man who did kill Ace. And that was Akainu, the fleet admiral, current fleet admiral. And honestly, you guys all saw chapter 1054 when Sabo was being paraded as a Flame Emperor. I kind of said we're gonna strike back on all fronts. The guy who, let's be honest here, kind of was focused on Dragon during Marineford, Dragon Sun. Of course, now he's talking about, oh, the Flame Emperor. No, we're gonna strike back. So honestly, if there's some poetic stuff when it comes to the Mare no Mi and Akainu. People gotta remember, Ace protected Luffy from Akainu, so I totally could see Sabo letting Luffy go and saying, I got this, and taking it on Akainu himself. And Akainu did, like, let's be honest, he was shitting on the Mare no Mi, saying my manga Duffy was just above, like, it's just superiority. So I truly believe we could see a situation where Sabo awakens the Mare no Mi, blue flames like we saw Sanji do with Ifrit Jamba, and of course shits on Akainu's magma fruit, saying, yeah, this is the greatness of fire's Ace still living on. Poetic. Now, I personally believe Ace in Sabo's fruit was used by someone during the Void Century, and I feel like Sabo seeing Imu could have sparked something when it comes to a flashback of the first Mare no Mi user, just like there has a first Luffy Duffer ability, the first Nika no Mi user. But I feel like, no pun intended, when it comes to sparking things, I feel like at the end of the day, Sabo isn't supposed to be going against Imu. He's supposed to be going against Akainu, and that's a big challenge. That's why I believe Sabo is main character vibes. The same way I feel like Ace was main character vibes pre-time skip, Sabo is filling Ace's shoes, and he's gonna win, unlike Ace, because Ace lost to Akainu before he actually died, before he actually saved Luffy. He actually lost, so I think Sabo needs to beat him, and that's gonna be a big W for, of course, the main cast. I always remember that moment of Zoro saying, it's crazy, yo, Ace said the exact same thing you said, Sabo, when Sabo was leaving, and said, take care of my brother. Honestly, it's such an impactful moment. And I do want to say this, when it comes to after the story's done with the revolutionaries, I could see him, Koala, Hack, hey, even add in pretty much characters like Caruso and Morley, maybe even Lindbergh. They could be a crew, honestly, a crew of sailors exploring the world, exploring the North Blue, West Blue, South Blue, and East Blue. We can even get a side story of this, and exploring the Grand Line and the New World. Past Laughtale, you can even go to the different moons. You can go crazy with this. The One Piece world is so vast, and I think Sabo can really achieve his true goal of exploring the world, because the world is so big, guys. When you go farther and farther, I remember the scene of Marco and Nakamushi and Arashi talking about all the different islands. That to me is Sabo's destiny, guys, to see all the different islands, and pretty much he has a long life to live, something that Ace always was pretty much waiting to die. Like, let's be honest here, he was waiting to die and he was so happy, smiled dying. But Sabu, I feel like he wants to live, he wants to go out there and live for Ace too. So that's my thoughts. Click on the end screen if you guys want to see a Sabo power scaling video, guys. Sabo, of course, he's stronger than you think. It's on my drip code channel. That's kind of like my main channel, right? Power scale. But tell me your thoughts down in the comment section, guys, and I'm out of here.